What's up? It's Where the Keys At. My name is Eli. Now today I've got some different guests in the house, like almost everyone's new, so I'm going to start with the person to my right, and that is...
Hello, I'm Venecia.
Okay, and then if we flip over across the other side, we got...
Kieren.
And I'm Daniel.
Right, so we've got 4 very different people today, like some kind of different opinions. And I think what I really want to talk about today, after flicking through my timeline for the last year or 2, is how people present themselves online. And I don't want to get into any trouble today because everyone's got real strong opinions and you might offend people you know, but every time I flick through my timeline, everyone's got filters on their face. And I'm just confused right now.
Some of it's for fun factor. Obviously, you can have a bit of a laugh with it. I'd say a person that uses dating apps.
Do you like it? Is that what I'm going to get at?
Nah, because some of the women use them to look slightly younger. And then when you meet them in person...
Well, just women, yeah?
I mean, I don't go onto apps to date men.
But I'm saying, like, anyone you know use filters?
Nah.
So when you go on a date with these people, do you feel cheated?
Listen, don't make it out as like it always happens. It's not. But you just think to yourself, now you can work it out. You can work it out who's using a filter. And I just think...
I can't work it out.
It depends, though.
Depends on what type of filter it is. Because sometimes you can just see this Photoshop wash where it's like no one on planet Earth has that perfect skin unless you're in a fashion company.
Yeah, but I think like you're looking at it from a professional person who works with digital images, but I don't think people can tell. I can't tell, and I'm looking at computer screens all day. It's just digital makeup.
Because sometimes makeup can be like really deceiving.
Yeah.
So me personally, I think it's just the society that we're in now. Everything is based on fakeness, really. If you're online.
But I never thought it would get this bad. I remember when...
But is it a bad thing to wear a filter?
When something good comes along, it can always go south. And I think we've gone south. I think we've gone too far the opposite way.
To be honest, don't really use them. So, I mean, obviously, things like Snapchat, Instagram, all those bits and pieces, you can use them on. Don't have Snapchat. Do have Instagram, but can't say I use them. But... slightly agree with you. It's slightly a soul destroying thing. Like I don't know. It's a little bit deceiving.
We're literally catfishing each other every single day. We are. And now you've got people putting them on their kids, their little kids.
Yeah.
Kids are perfect. Kids have got perfect faces, perfect skin.
You got the baby filters.
Why would you put a filter on your child? Like a little child, like 4 or 5 year old, not a teenager.
I think that's just the fun part in it. Just trying to have some fun with your kids, showing them, what you're looking at me.
Because some people put those beauty filters on their children, like with the cheekbones and all that. You not seen that before?
Yeah, I suppose then that rolls into
like
something else
sexualising
later
your
on.
child.
Yeah. Then it rolls into like, I suppose, how some people look on social media. So then it becomes like a trend to want to look like someone and carry on. If you're doing it with your young children, maybe then I get that.
But is it actually sexualizing your child though? Because it's a contour.
Is that what it's called?
No, I don't know, because you said contour.
No, I did not say. I don't even know what that word means.
No, because when with the cheekbones, that's what I mean. Sorry, that's what I mean.
Okay.
So just because someone's got cheekbones, it means that they're a sex object.
Yeah. What do you think?
Nah, I wouldn't say the class is a sex object. I mean, contouring is just I suppose a new part of makeup, isn't it? Like, not new, it's been around for a little bit now.
How come I didn't know about it? You're like talking about like it's a normal thing. Is that?
No, I mean it's been around for many years.
Yeah.
Part of makeup culture for probably I don't know how many years, 8 years or something.
And
so basically,
but that is still deceit, isn't it? Because it's not real.
Yeah, but not. I don't think everything needs to be filtered within reality. I feel like people should have the option to, become a different character if they wanted, so to speak. So I personally don't think it's a bad thing that people use filters, and people do weird shit online. Like you got all these, creators all over the world who are like inventing these weird filters, like they got octopus tentacles coming out of their faces, and they use it as part of their character. And personally, I don't think there's anything wrong.
I think they're two very different things. Like when people use them to put, I don't know, like a Ninja Turtle on their face or something, it's different than when a person uses it to make their face look like their ideal version of themselves, and every single picture they've got, they use that filter. You know, it's almost like them creating a new identity for themselves rather than being creative with makeup. I think they're very...
Yeah, but that's what makeup is, to conceal.
Yeah.
So whether it's digital or physical, I feel like it's the same concept.
It's the society that we live in now. That is attractive. You know? I remember growing up where big lips, big bum wasn't attractive.
Yeah.
Black features, my body shape was not attractive.
Yeah.
But now everyone wants it.
Yeah.
So they're bringing out these filters where your lips are bigger, where your nose is a different shape.
Have they?
Yeah, they've got loads of different filters on there where you can look a certain way, and it does depend on trend. I don't work obviously in fashion, but I work in retail. I work in office, and different trends come in. 1 minute it's like people like platforms, and it's like that for 6 months, and then it goes back to being retro, and it's like that for a whole year. So it is like an accessory. It's a trend.
So I'm trying
That's
to look
what
for
it
filters
is.
right now. I'm trying to look for the lip one.
Those ones with the lips.
I think that gets problematic when you're trying to, I don't know, when you're, it's touchy, innit, right? Did you see the story in the paper or on the internet last couple of days of the lecturer in America who's just come out? Female lecturer. She's been lecturing at this one place, I think it's in California, correct me if I'm wrong, for 10 years. And she's just come out and said, I've been telling you that I'm a black woman for the last 10 years, but really I'm a white woman.
Yeah, I remember that.
This literally hit the news yesterday and the day before.
She's
So
not the
it's
first
a
person
black
to do that,
intellectual.
though.
She's published books about...
Oh, I thought you were talking about someone else. There was another lady.
Yeah, that was about 4 years ago.
Yeah,
But this woman, she's a professor. She's published books about the black diaspora and African history and stuff. But she's a white woman, and she's Jewish. And she basically just catfished everyone for 10 years. No one really knows what her point was, but she's made statements talking about how basically anyone can be anything they want, and she wanted to be a black woman for 10 years, and the history and stuff doesn't really matter behind it. And I think she's gone the extreme of committing to that for life. But what you were just saying about the filters is almost like steps towards that, like steps towards changing yourself, even if it's in a non-real way.
That is what it is. You can be someone else for that little time, whether it's a picture, whether it's makeup, whether it's changing, putting a wig on, changing like the way that you dress.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like more appealing to be something else and to be yourself. But then they say that that's them being their self. But really and truly, is it? Because it's deceitful. Because when you take everything off, that's who you are.
Yeah.
But when you leave the house, your hair's a certain way. Your makeup has to be a certain way because you want to look the standard.
Yeah.
But what is the standard? Everyone's made differently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm made a certain way and I attract a certain type of person. But that's who I am. But that's the way that I think now. I'm like, 31 years old. It took time. Took time for me to think that way. I don't really care about all of that. But growing up, being at high school...
Trying to fit in and
it was hard because...
I think that's the issue now. Being younger, boys and girls, wanting to... I suppose that it starts from filters and whatever. Then they might have a insecurity about their nose, whatever, anything. Then at a young age, they want to get surgery.
But is it that? Is it something that's leading you into...
I think it is.
Do you think?
Sort of. There's
for the masses?
I put it this way. I've got young girls that I work with. And like they're all gone to uni. I mean, very beautiful girl. This girl was beautiful. She had lovely curly hair, naturally curly hair. And just went to uni. I think she's about 19. And she told me that she's going to get Botox and she's going to get her lips done. And I looked at her and I was like, but you're so pretty. You don't need it. We're not really taught to love ourselves.
Yeah, that's true.
We're not. We always want to be what someone else is. You see it everywhere.
These companies, like, they know that, don't they? They kind of prey on that shit.
But this is when you got influencers. You know, they'll have bits and pieces done.
Right.
But then you'll have companies, I mean, it's slightly different, but sending them stuff. But even like, I don't know, teeth whitening and they'll openly admit where they've had the surgery.
That's
Some of
strange,
these,
isn't it? I think
know?
that's a new thing. You know, like plastic surgery was.
a private thing.
Yeah, it was private, wasn't it? But now it's like, yo, I had this done, and I see it on the TV show as well. You know.
That is one side of influencer culture, you know, like people being sent products, people having surgery and things like that. But then there's also another side to influencer culture where women are, you know, championing their natural selves as well. You know? It's not all like negative. It's not like influencer culture. It's not all like, you know, deceiving the public and fake fallacy. It's like, I feel like there is a broad mix, but I just feel like, yeah, young people are out there kind of trying to navigate their way through and trying to figure out who they are.
But do you think that's only changed recently, though, because there's been so much bad things happen with children killing themselves because they don't look a certain way or not fitting in or being bullied because they have a certain skin tone or they want to be like this or whatever? There's got to a place where now, because social media is like, this needs to stop. There needs to be more positive images, and girls need to know that that photo actually has been photoshopped, that is not her normal body. So more people are coming out and being like, actually, this is what I really look like.
I just think it's because the younger generation now aren't as easily deceived as our generation and the generations above. You know, like when it comes to media and advertising, because I just feel like brands now, there's like studies out there about the way that Gen Z kind of, you know, react to certain brands. They want the trust and transparency. That's where every brand is trying to go, you know. It's like you know, when you have those body campaigns where it's like, I don't know, celebrating body diversity and things like that.
Yeah.
They don't retouch out the stretch marks and things like that. Like that's the cultural norm across the industry now. Whereas like 10 years ago, people would be scared to do that. But now, because young people.
But I think we're more conscious of it though, because like growing up, that I think people are more focused on image now than they ever were before. Don't you think? Do you think?
I don't think so.
I don't.
I think
no.
I can remember like being a kid. I can remember like always wanting a beard. That was my thing. I still ain't got a beard now for like 30 years later. But it's like I can't wait till I get a beard. And I used to like think Michael Jordan had a beard. That was why I want a goatee like Michael Jordan. So I was conscious of my image then. However, I'm thinking it in a different way. The difference between when we were kids is now the kids actually digital filters are like a way to try things without committing, I suppose. You can look at it that way, can't you? Whereas our kids when I were younger might have just got depressed about it or done something extreme. But now it's almost like you can try it on in the mirror, and if you don't like it, you can get rid of it. And you could use it that way. I'm guessing kids do use it that way, but I think a lot of people don't use it that way as well, though.
Yeah.
And they just kind of use it as a permanent cape.
I could see that as a positive thing.
Gateway drug. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Gateway drug, yeah.
I think touching on your body campaign thing, it's usually an older generation that are doing it though. It's not very often you'd see a younger man or woman on there just showing their body off. I mean, from what I've seen.
Yeah. There are some campaigns.
Older again.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
It's usually groups that are, I suppose, know what they're working with, dealing with it, happy about it.
Yeah, people are just using it in quite a tokenistic way. It's like, let's tick that box. Let's have the disabled girl. Let's have the.
Yeah.
I can't take this, man. And I know they're doing it. They think they're doing it for us, like to include all the others.
But it just looks.
But it don't feel natural, does it?
No, it feels really forced.
Yeah.
And I know that's going away. I'm taking the conversation to another place, away from filters and stuff. But it does make me think about it when I look at campaigns. Like, I know I work in that industry, but I try to look at it objectively as well. And it does make me feel like even with this Black Lives Matter movement gaining so much momentum this year, you know, I went into Waterstones today and there were loads of black books everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, all these brands and all these stores are all just reacting to culture.
Follow fashion, yeah.
And they're like, you know, how can we target these people? How can we make them feel like we're here for them?
How can we make a buck off them as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How can we make a buck? I think that's cool. I like the fact that it's the market and I can't stand. Because I sometimes look at things and I think, okay, yeah, there's a black person there, there's a Chinese person there, and I think, how many situations do you really come across that are actually like that? And I know they're not. It's not real. It's not like realism. It's fantasy in a way, but
yeah, because they try to put a group of people together to make them look like friends.
Yeah.
But it's like sometimes it doesn't really work. They don't actually look like they would hang out. You know.
we were talking about the Barbie dolls the other day, and Ash is off camera, but we were talking about them. My daughter got Barbie dolls for her birthday last week. And she's got black Barbie dolls, right? 'Cause she's got a lot of white Barbie dolls. She's got one black Barbie doll. So we told the family, or Leanne told the family, buy a Barbie doll. So everyone bought a Barbie dolls, but all the black Barbie dolls, they got a new range of fashionitas or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, fashionistas.
Yeah.
Is
That's
it fashionista? I don't know.
So she's got one with vitiligo, one with one leg, and then there's one in the wheelchair. And I was like, can I just have a black Barbie, please? Like, you've got to combine the disabilities, you know what I mean? Or combine the...
But it is good though.
It is,
Yeah.
Because
but at the same
my
time,
niece
man,
got
like,
one for her birthday.
wow.
She was like, "I want the girl in the wheelchair,"
And they have
I
white
thought that was
Barbies like
amazing.
that though, yeah?
Huh?
They have white Barbies. Same.
Yeah, they do, but my daughter ain't got them ones. But
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It can look tokenistic, but at least they're pushing it in the direction of, you know, if you are a disabled young
Yeah,
girl,
yeah.
you're seeing yourself represented as a figurine.
Yeah, and my daughter was like, yeah, this one's got one leg, but she can still play with the other one. And she was
Yeah.
cool with it, but I just looked at her like, well, where's just a regular black Barbie doll? Please, let's let me play with that one. Now I'm thinking about it. I bet they were on sale. Have you noticed the black dolls are always on sale?
Yeah.
Trust me, they are. You got a little girl, when you go to the shop,
Yeah.
the dark skin dolls, because they have like different shades as well, the dark skin dolls are always on sale.
Yeah.
Always.
Even though it just come out.
Why you got an issue with that?
No, because they're on sale because they're not selling or they're not, I don't know what, but they're on sale. I ain't got an issue on saving money, but I'm just thinking, why could they have possibly got these dolls? Because they're on sale because people don't want them, maybe.
Maybe kids aren't playing with physical things as much as they were before.
Yeah.
Because when I see my nieces on Christmas Day, they're on their iPads and they're watching other kids open their presents on YouTube, which is a whole nother thing when we're talking about
Jesus.
reality and, you know, the digital space.
That
is such a bizarre world. Imagine watching other kids play Super Nintendo in the 90s.
We kind of did that in real life, didn't you? You go around that
Yeah,
friend.
you go exactly. But to be fair, we probably would have done it. Like there's points in games where I'd be there for hours getting stuck, trying to play over and over. Someone just showed you how to do it online.
They used to do that on
You can,
Games
like-
Master. They
Yeah.
used to show you a certain
Yeah,
level.
yeah,
You watch
yeah,
it like,
true,
please have my
actually,
game on there,
yeah.
and they didn't.
Yeah.
But the kids don't have a choice in that. Like they've got a perceived choice. Like they think they've got a choice in it, but really, they could be any kid going to any era, and they just follow what's happening and what's being shown to them, wouldn't they? So there's a Stampy was the first one my son got into. It's Stampy. You ever heard of him? I know you heard of Stampy, right? He plays this game called.
Stampy.
I have no idea.
It's a grown man. It's so weird. It's a grown man talking to little kids, and he uses a little kid voice, and it's not like he's not checked and sanctioned by any big broadcasting company. He's in his bedroom. And yeah,
You got my face.
and he's got these kids, and they're playing not Roblox. What's the other one? The one Minecraft. And he's playing Minecraft and talking to these little kids and going, "Come on, let's get through these little tunnels and build this thing up." And my son was obsessed with it, and he used to watch this guy. And I remember thinking to myself, "Who's this person influencing my 5-year-old and talking to my 5-year-old? And when I'm not in the room, what's he saying to my
He's
5-year-old?"
probably a very rich man now.
Definitely, yeah.
What, as an actual man, he's online all the time? Or is it a computer?
He records himself
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
games every day, but there's people like that, right? But they pitch to the right age, whereas this dude's just pitching to little kids, like 5-year-olds, and he kind
Yeah,
of...
but that's no different to CBeebies, Mr. Tumble,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
whatever.
Yeah, but Mr. Tumble, it's almost like when the BBC do it, they've kind of been checked. Do you know what I mean? He's not just some dude in his bedroom who can say what he wants.
Yeah, I get that.
You know? There's a team of people before he gets published.
But haven't YouTube done something now where it's like a safe play? Because there was something, I think parents were letting their children watch Peppa Pig or something.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, the first 5 minutes of it was Peppa Pig. And then there was audioed over. Someone was swearing, telling their kids to go and do all these bad things whilst watching Peppa Pig. You think it's funny?
That's why I cut the camera back. That's not funny at all.
You need to rewind that.
This kid's being told evil things.
Oh right, okay, I didn't know that.
Why is everyone laughing?
Do you know what it is? Because I had the image in my head of some kid, Peppa Pig, and then there's no place coming. Go in your room. Sorry. That's why I find it funny.
I
No, it's
think
not funny.
that was like, must have been about 5 years ago. I think this come up.
The internet's so powerful, isn't it? That's the problem, and it's hard to regulate that. You can't regulate.
I put my hand on the
Again,
cat
it's no
schools.
different to the filters and the surgery. That's if these children or whatever are going to have Instagram and whatever, they're going to see that
Yeah,
and just be like, oh, that's a new thing to do.
exactly. Without sounding old, like my sisters used to look on the telly and look at Kylie Minogue or whoever. Do you know what I mean? And it was all crap, and it was all kind of this perfect image of what a woman should look like or a guy should look like. But it wasn't everywhere. It wasn't oversaturated, and it was kind of, to a degree, it was controlled
Yeah.
and regulated.
But the reason now, obviously, surgery's a big business. Like,
Yeah,
us growing up, I mean, I could, if I had something wrong, I was unhappy with, I couldn't go to my mum and say, Mum, listen, I'm getting bullied at school, blah, blah, blah. Can you help me out with some money? She'd have just been like, deal with it, you know? But now, a lot of these kids, they've got access to that.
yeah.
Have they though? Well, their parents have got money to go and get them the surgery.
Listen, these kids will just take out loans and stuff. Like, I know if I was turned 18 and I could have got a bank loan or whatever, and I was unhappy with something, I still wouldn't have done it. Like, like you say, there's a mentality different nowadays.
But that thing you talk about, that I forgot what it's called now. The lip, whatever it's called.
Oh, lip fillers and like Botox.
That's not
I
expensive,
think.
is it?
Nah. You can go like, I know people that just go there.
What's not expensive?
Botox.
But does it leak out after time? Is that how it works?
It's not permanent,
It
is it?
dissolves.
So, yeah, it lasts about 6 months.
So as a parent,
3
imagine
months.
your daughter's really stressed out and really depressed, and you can't help her, and she goes, I just need to have Botox, and it's, how much does it cost?
I don't know.
Says £100. Says £100 a month or something. You might do that.
Yeah, the thing is,
No, I wouldn't do
I mean, yes, I've got a teenage son, but he doesn't want no work.
I'm
Thank God.
asking you later.
But-
How much do you last time?
If you're in that position as a parent, which none of us have to be yet, we don't know what we'll do for our children.
Yeah.
So
Well, I like to think.
Oh,
I like to think I know what I'd be like. Don't you?
I know I'd be like, no, you ain't getting it done. Like, done. That's it.
that's me. No.
But not all parents
Really?
have got the time.
What to depend? What age would it stop where you say no?
If you're living under my roof,
I just don't like. I don't know. Like I personally wouldn't. If my daughter said to me, "Mum, I don't like my lips, so I want to get them done. I need to get them done." I said, "Well, when you go out and get a job, if that's what you want to go and do,
Yeah.
then do that. But me personally, I'm not going to give you money to do that because you're beautiful. Like, where's this coming from? To me, it's a deeper. Maybe because I see things deeper, I would have to talk to her and say, okay, but why do you want this?
It's like
Well, what
everything.
about if there wasn't anything wrong with her and she was just like, I just really want to do that?
what to try it.
Yeah, just
There's
to
a
do it.
difference, like you say, lips it would dissolve. You know, supposedly I don't
Yeah,
know.
but
I don't
even if it
think
was
do
a
what you want.
permanent thing, like there was a guy that, when I was in Switzerland, one of my friends lives in Switzerland in Zurich, and one of her friends, this blonde guy, he was like a classic looking, like, you know, like good looking man, and he shaved off his head and got tattoos all over his face and around his eyes and all over his head. There was nothing wrong with him. He just wanted, that's just
He just
what he
loved
wanted
tattoos.
to do. He loved tattoos and that's what he wanted to do.
Is he an
So-
adult?
That's where filters, I think. are
Yeah,
good.
he was an adult, yeah.
That's what he what? Then he can.
Could've
That's
just
his
put him-
life. He what did I let him go and do it?
Yeah. But what about if your daughter was asking for having Botox, but then in her 20s, she still really wanted to do it? And
Then
she
she's
did
20 years old.
it? Yeah, okay.
That's up to her. Like, she's not in my house. She's making her own
She's not
money.
coming back in my house.
And that's
but-
that, like, for me, I feel when you have children, right, it's very important for me that I install in her self-confidence and to love herself, right? So if she ever comes to me and she says, Mummy, I don't like my hair, I'll say, okay, baby, why don't you like your hair? Yeah, why? And I'll speak to her and I'll tell her that your hair is beautiful. Everyone's made differently. Everyone's made to look differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think my point
So-
was like, would that make you look at it differently? Because like, if she was asking for it for a sustained period of time throughout her teens, but then in her 20s she still went and did it, would that then make you look at,
I'm thinking she really wants.
yeah,
No.
the fact,
I wouldn't, because like like children to me are very impressionable, right?
Yeah.
And as a parent, it's up to you. Nowadays, I just feel like people just let kids have too much. They say yes too much, and I'm thinking this child is 12 years old. Yeah, when you want something that is permanent, like it's not going to change, I feel like their mentality and how they think needs to be mature enough to make that strong decision. So if you feel some type of way, I would acknowledge it. I'm not gonna not acknowledge it and be like old West Indian. Yeah, nah, I don't want to hear nothing what you have to say, because they have feelings
You
too.
want to have a conversation.
You know what I mean? We'll talk about it. And that's the one thing I try to do with my daughter. Just because she's 5 years old doesn't mean that she doesn't have feelings or opinions and those. Do you know what I mean? But you as a parent, you need to know when to say not right now.
yeah.
Grow up a little bit, because that might change.
Yeah,
One minute you
the
like
character
this.
of your own child.
Yeah.
If you've got a child that's just like flickers from here, idea, whatever, in and out, then you're just going to be straight away like, no.
Yeah, I definitely think it's better for people to make those decisions when they're a little bit older and they've had life experience. Like, there's a whole heap of people in this world who've got those star tattoos on their feet in their teens who are probably regretting it in their 20s, you know?
Society is nowadays very fast paced. Everyone's working, everyone's like wanting to make that money. They want to be here. In 10 years, I want to be in this place. But that is very dangerous, because a lot of people are struggling with things, especially children nowadays, because of the pressures, because of social media and all that. We didn't have that.
Nope.
Do you know what I mean? Like at 12 years old, I was climbing trees and beating up boys and having a good time. I wasn't worried about dressing up and my eyebrows being
She was
arched
one of
this
them
way.
girls that used to be on the boys.
I had fun. I had a good childhood. We didn't have much, but I wasn't into that. 12-year-olds now know how to do their makeup better than me.
Yeah.
Everything is image. Everything is what I look like and what I want, and I want the latest this and that. That is high school. That is college. So because of that society, I have to make sure I know what's going on with my child. I have to make time.
I think you are very unique in that situation.
Yeah. I have to.
Otherwise, if everyone, majority were like that, even if 60% of parents were as dedicated and kind of aware as you, I don't think these filters and stuff would be dangerous at all.
No.
I don't think any of this lifestyle influences would be dangerous, because kids would look at it and go, all right, but I know myself and I know I'm kind of aware of who I am and I'll make my own choice. But I don't
that's
think...
the education factor, though, isn't it? It's about talking to them about why they're making the choices that they're making.
Exactly.
Just so that they're 100% aware of why they're doing it, you know?
And why they're feeling that way. Because people change. 1 minute, when you're young, I wanted to be, I don't know, what to do something, and I was like, yeah, that's what I want to be. I got to 18 and I thought, but when I got to 18, it changed.
Yeah.
Because I realised, actually, that's not all what it cracked up to be.
Yeah.
So it's important. You have to teach your children. Teach them and be like, okay, you want to do that? Is that what you want to do? Okay, well, let's research it. Let's find out why you're feeling that way. Let's find out why you're thinking that way. And, you know, you have...
But what about kids making their own mistakes then?
Yeah, that's...
Surely that's a way to learn. Like you said, climbing trees and that. You had to drop down from a tree to know to climb the next one, right? So couldn't you apply that to every part of childhood?
Yes and no, but as a parent, I feel like you're there to teach. There's some things that children go through at a young age that they didn't need to go through if they had someone to speak to and to tell them, like, do you know what? This is my life experience. Learn from me. And if they choose to make their own decision, that's fine. They like always have that door open. They need that door, that little crack to be like, I want to do this, but it may lead to this. But maybe if I talk to my mum or my brother or my auntie about this first, then I won't make that mistake.
Have you tried that, Dan, as a parent?
With your son in the room.
I'd like to think me and Shay have a open, majority of the time honest relationship, but found out of late. It doesn't always work that way.
Is that true, Shay?
But also know he's 15 years old. It's testing boundaries. Obviously, I live in London. He lives here, so can't always be on his case. I know it's going to happen.
What's gonna happen?
Him doing what he's doing at times.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about it afterwards. He'll get disciplined and, you know. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've got a good, honest relationship with him.
Yeah.
But I also know he's a boy at that age, and there's certain things going to happen.
And they need to happen.
Yeah.
Because if not, you don't grow.
But there was something he happened recently, and he didn't think of it. He got in trouble for the thing he'd done. But I thought about a situation afterwards. So I was like, listen, you got yourself in this situation whilst something else was happening.
You can see further down the road, as
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
But even still then, when I was telling him, he didn't understand it.
No.
So I was just like, go home. You know?
I mean, go back to when you were a kid. Like, I can, being a parent now, yeah, I'm looking at things and thinking, oh my God, my parents told me that, but I just couldn't see it.
Yeah,
and I can relate because it's hard. You can't see what if past the door you've never opened, can you?
But they didn't always get it right, though. Like,
That's true.
I'm starting to notice things that my parents did when I was a kid because they were young as well. Like, my dad had me when he was like 15, turning 16. So obviously he's going to make mistakes. But like, there's things that I've been thinking about recently that just make me laugh that my dad did. Like when my brother, this has got nothing to do with social filters or anything.
We're talking.
My brother Lance decided that he was going to hang on the back of a bus and go down.
On skates?
No, just hanging off the back.
Oh, okay.
Almost like a little
animal. And the back
hanging
bit goes up, doesn't it?
Yeah. So he was hanging on it, and it was going really, really fast down the road, and he jumped off and hit his head, and then he was shaking on the floor. And this is how long ago it was, because the bus driver got off the bus because someone like stopped the bus, and he got off the bus and he had a massive mobile phone. I remember that it was fucking huge, and that's how that era. And then the ambulance came, took my brother, and I was really worried because I thought, shit, my brother's gonna die. He's like under my care because my mum was like working that day and it was during the summer holidays. I rode my bike all the way to my dad's house and said, Lance hit his head, he's gone to hospital. My dad was like, what? Just me up, man. And I was like, why did I get beat up?
You should have let him on the back of the bus.
It's just like, my brother made that decision to mash himself up, but I got beats for it.
Yeah, because that's you was in charge.
But I was a teenager. I was like maybe 13, 12 years old.
Yeah, you're big enough to go out and look after your brother. You're big enough to take the consequences of that kind of thing, innit?
Yeah. But I feel like parenting changed over the years, you know, because when my youngest brother in my family household was growing up, there's certain things that my mum didn't do to him anymore.
Easy.
It just softened, you know, as the years went on.
They're
As a
learning.
person, you grow up.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
You might be like, younger, not able to deal with things. So your first talk about our parents straight out lash quickly when they're younger. But as they grow up, my younger sister. I see my younger sister talk up to my mum in certain ways. So I'm like, but it's just they're older, chilled out more.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, don't know. Sometimes I'm not saying that kind of like discipline is right, but
You don't think discipline is right?
Discipline, of course, everyone needs discipline.
Oh, that type of discipline.
That type,
right?
But I do think now children are getting away with more and repeating because this discipline is.
Who's disciplining our kids? Teachers can't really do that anymore.
Because it's not that long ago when people used to get whipped at school.
Yeah, that's send it to Jamaica.
Sometimes you hear about parents doing that. Children's acting bad, right? You get sent back to the home country, like do a month or whatever. Some people longer, and then they do come back. Thinking,
but it doesn't work for everyone, you know.
No, that's true. That's true.
Some people can take it and come out stronger from it.
Yeah.
But then some people just cave in and they're, internalizing all this pain, and then it comes out in different ways later on in life. So it doesn't always work for everyone. It's the same for the education system. It's like a bit blanket, you know.
That really annoys
blanket
me.
beating doesn't work for everyone.
That annoys me. I really think teachers, like, I'm a bit old school in that. I think someone needs to tell the kid what's what because they're learning, right? And I feel like kids are hard-headed. Some kids are hard-headed and they need to get a message. Put them straight. I don't want my child to think I'm the only person in the world who's going to put them straight because I'm not going to be in every room with them every time they're somewhere. And they're not going to have respect for any other type of people. when they get to college, they don't care about no one else because no one else has ever told them nothing.
But I think it's because some parents are scared to be the bad cop, you know, and they don't want their kid to look at them in that way. Because, you know, when, like, even though my father and my mother disciplined me, I don't look at them with hatred, but I do have friends who actually hate their parents because they were that horrible to them. So I guess
there's
people...
horrible,
yeah,
and there's discipline you and showing you care as well, like a kindness reason for doing it. I think if it's horrible, like, I don't know, that's abuse then, isn't it? Although I suppose nowadays...
Where's the line?
Yeah, exactly. Nowadays, being punished...
I don't think they got punished more than what I did.
But I'm just, you know, I remember mum coming in, just like, slapped me once. She walked out and I laughed because I knew that at that point I was too big to get slapped. So I laughed.
Yeah.
And I see her pop her head back. She goes, "You think it's funny, do you?" And I thought to myself, she's crazy. I knew why she was doing it.
Yeah.
Even though she was punching me up, I thought, okay. And there's points where I'd cry.
You laugh, but it's not funny though, is it?
Oh no, it's not
I'd think
funny.
evil things at the time, like, hope she gets run over tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah. But I knew deep down it was coming from a good place.
Yeah. But it's hard though, because I know that I did certain things when I was a kid. I know that wasn't my fault. I got beats from my brother jumping off the bus, but, you know, I can think of many occasions where I've done something and I was like, wow, I definitely deserve that. Because, you know, remember when in the 90s when them jeans came out? Spliffy jeans?
Yeah.
Spliffy jeans.
I was like really influenced by these jeans for some reason. And I remember I was thinking, what is spliff? Like, what is a spliff? So I got tissue and wrapped it up and put grass in it. Because, you know, the leaf sign, I just thought, that must be grass or a leaf.
Yeah.
So I wrapped up tissue and put it in there. And I was smoking it in the living room.
You actually lit
tissue, and I lit it, and it all dropped, and it fell on the carpet and made a massive hole in the living room. My mum come downstairs.
Yeah, you
What's
deserve.
that smell?
Straight.
Mum was like, what's that smell? What's that smell? And I was like, I burnt some toast. And then she walked in the living room and saw the sofa was in the middle of the room. She was like, why is the sofa in the middle of the room? Moved the sofa, and there was a massive hole in the carpet. And I got licks that day.
Battered.
But I deserved it, you know.
So what we're saying, that you think that's a wrong thing to do at the time?
Yeah, it was a massively wrong thing.
As in you get the licks like that.
But at the same time, I got bought the jeans. So if I didn't get bought the jeans,
You wouldn't have tried it.
I wouldn't have tried it.
Well. So what are you trying to say? It's your mum or dad's fault for buying you the jeans?
How is it different here, like from Jamaica, in terms of how parents?
Jamaica was straight, no talk. It was simple. You know what you're getting with Jamaican parents in Jamaica anyway. Strict, straight up strict. Schooling was strict. So even in school, teachers allowed to beat you. So you have to hold your hands out. So if you get in trouble, hold your hands out, you get hit. So you get 10 hits for something minor, like let's say you shouting at somebody in class, you get 10 hits for that. If you miss like 20 minutes of your class, you're supposed to be in class, and you're 20 minutes late, that's 20 hits. Like depending on it, depending
20
on
hits?
Yeah, in your hands with the belt. Like you hold your hands out, you get hit on your hands with a belt. So literally, if you're copying someone's work, you get beat. You get beat for everything, like in school.
Damn.
Yeah, it was like that in school. So imagine at home. I mean, so when I was younger in Jamaica, you have chores. Like over here, you don't really get. Kids don't really have a lot of chores. By the time I was 10 years old, I was washing my clothes by hands. On a Saturday, I couldn't leave to my grandma, check my clothes, blah blah blah, everything. So all our cousins used to wash our clothes in the back garden with my grandmother every Saturday.
How did you wash the clothes?
With hands, bruv. Scrub. You never washed clothes by hands before?
No.
Me and Ash have done it.
We do that. Yeah, see, we done it on holiday when it was there. Soap, wash your hands. You just basically just wash it.
Oh, was it one of those like corrugated?
No,
Oh.
in a bucket, hand wash, rinse.
Yeah.
And then you wash it again, and then you go over, show your grandma. If there's stains on it, you get slapped. And said, your grandma send you back over there, go and carry on. And then use that. Let's just say on a Saturday, I'm there for about 5 hours. All my cousins,
Was it only
I'm
your
there.
own clothes you'd wash?
Yeah, your own clothes. Everyone washed their own clothes. My grandma's there as well, washing her clothes. she's done quick time because she's,
She
you know
done
what I mean?
before.
She knows what she's doing. She's just quick.
And
then
you've got
all
little
my-
hands.
Yeah, I'm the last one anyway. I'm all my cousins. I'm always the last one. I'm sitting there, you know, you vex. Come on to wash this. And you try and quick sometimes you hear them go, they're going to play. Thinking, oh, shoot. Trying to wash quick so you're going to play? Nah, you ain't going nowhere to grandma's consent that. And then Sundays used to be, we have to iron our own clothes. You have to iron your own school clothes. Help in the kitchen. So my grandma have days where one of us will have to go in the kitchen and help her cook. So you're learning how to cook. So you have to learn how to cook.
I think that's good though.
Polish the floor. And when I'm saying this is the hardest, this is the part I hate. I would rather wash clothes than polish. Because you got one little coconut brush, yeah? And so someone's go around on their hands and knees.
What's a coconut brush for people that don't know?
Thank you.
It's like, it's half coconut, but at the bottom it's like, it's the pointed bits of the coconut, so they make it kind of pointed, so it's like a coconut brush.
When they
call
split it open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they call it a coconut brush. It's hard to explain it unless you see one, yeah? And then literally you go around with that. One of my cousins go around and polish, and you have to polish a certain way. And then you go behind them and scrub with a brush, with the coconut brush. So you're doing this. The technique is like, it's like Karate Kid. Wax on, wax off. I'm telling you, literally like that. It's wax on, wax off. That's the technique you use. And you go around, and then you're not allowed to do anything until grandma say yes. And that's how I grew up in Jamaica. So you get beats left, right, and centre. I remember the first I went to high school and I came from school. My mama is not going to like this one. I came from school, yeah. And my clothes are dirty, so I quickly took off my clothes, ran inside now. I was in my boxers sitting there just watching Thundercats. You know, in them days, yeah, I used to love Thundercats. Sitting there watching Thundercats. And I say, yeah, Ashwell! And if my mom called my name like that, I know what time it is. You know what's coming. I got grabbed by my chick. I got no top on, yeah. So it's pure skin. I think grabbed by skin outside. And by arm, and then I hear my mom go, Charlie! That's my uncle. Asking for a belt. This man come with a cable wire.
Wow.
I got beat. Remember, I got no clothes on, just in boxes. I managed to get loose. I sprint. I took off, bruv. My mom chasing me down the road. I see the slippers fly in the air. I'm running, in my boxes. I run to my other side of family, my dad's side of family, run behind my upper grandmother, hide behind her. And my grandmother was ready to fight my mom there and then. She said, you carry on, you come here. I got beat you up. And my mom went back home.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she
But did you get beat the next day?
Huh?
Did you
I stayed there for
really?
about 3 days, 4 days.
Really? To let her cool down?
Yeah, cool down. But
that's
that was
the point at which, like, all the discipline stuff before, I was like, okay, I understand.
And then you get to that beating side, and then it's so extreme.
Like, they're actually abusing you.
Yeah, literally. It's, you get to a...
If you're scared and you're like...
Running for
yeah.
your life. But that's how it was. That's just what you knew in Jamaica, you know? You didn't know any different. Like, I remember when I first come here, it's like, I went to my friend's house. Like, this is the first time I've ever been to this is one of my white friends. I went to school and I went to his house. And like, I went in there and I took my shoes off. And this is not like... And he's like, why are you taking your shoes off for? It's like, it's principles, isn't it? Like, even to this day, if you go into someone's home, you take your shoes off.
No, 100%, yeah.
You take your shoes off and you go in the front room, because normally it's always a front room, and you go say hello to the parents and that before you go into their room. You know what I mean? It's principles, isn't it? Hello. And so like, don't do that. Come upstairs. But I always go in there and say hello to the parents, because I think that's just how I grew up anyway. And like, so flip side of that, they come to mine now, and they walked in, and they were trying to walk into my room. I said, bruh, you need to go in there and say hello to my mama. And he didn't do it. He didn't listen. So I went upstairs now, thinking in my room now. And then he came upstairs, and we're sitting there now. We're playing computer now. I hear on the door. And I was like, who's that? My mum bust through the door now. Tell your friend he need to go.
Wow.
I was like, huh? I go, what did you not do? Because I knew you didn't do something.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I walk out the door, my mother said, he's not allowed to come here again. Which makes sense to me. It's like, that's principles, isn't it? Like, it's just one of them things where you think,
well,
like,
politeness,
if you go to someone's house, I don't pay the bill, so you go in there and say hello to the person that paid the bill. You can't, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, if we was like, say if it was one of us, we have a house and you invite you invite me round and I come with another person, that person just walk in your yard and just go, you know what, let me go straight sit in your sofa. You be thinking like, bruh, what's going on with your boy? You know what I mean? Like it's the same concept, I think. So yeah, there is that, you know what I mean? There's a balance. Jamaican family are quite harsh at times. I think I agree with some of the discipline side of it, but sometimes I take it a bit too far. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Alright, here's a question for everyone, right?
Yeah.
Try and answer the question in a sentence, but as parents, not us as parents, but parents of 2020, are they actually better parents than the parents of 30 years ago?
Your upbringing
is
my upbringing.
Yeah.
Mama didn't play. I used to be in church and my mum used to go, this sound, right? I would hear that clear the other side of the hall. And me and my brother would sit up to attention. You don't talk. You're like this. And my mum's like, yeah, you don't play around. Do you know what I mean? So I can go to my mum and talk to her about stuff. There had to be like a...
Hold on, something stopped.
As soon as I leave the place,
there had to be that. Now we're really close, but there had to be a process, and then me and her had to have some deep conversations. Like I didn't think that my mum liked me because of how she was and how she also treated my brother. She treated us differently. But what I had to do is I had to speak to her about certain things and know where she was coming from and her upbringing to understand why she used to do the things that she did. Now, when I hear my mum's upbringing,
you got it soft.
I got it easy, man. I had an easy, good life compared to what my mum had, you know. So I've noticed with each generation, we're getting softer and softer because we're all learning. Like, my mum had some stuff done to her that I cried. Because I'm thinking in my head, like, you were 4 years old or you were 5 years old. But when you go back, even with that, when you go back to that, like, the slave women would punish their children more because they would feel it was a kindness. Because they would say, like, if Master was to get you, he'd kill you. I'm doing this to save you. So that's also that mentality. It takes time for us as black people to come out of certain things. Because, we've got to come out of it because we're doing things that I love. That's protection. That's making you hard. Because when you're young, you're going to go through certain things in life. And I'm doing this to make you hard, to make you strong, so that you survive. Because years ago, it was always about survival. It wasn't about living and enjoying your life. It was like you're surviving. Like in Jamaica, you have to go and get water. We got it in the tap. You have to go down in the morning with your buckets and you're young and you're bringing that back. And with that water, you drink with that, you wash with that, you do everything with that.
Happy for rainwater.
Yeah, and that's before school. And school was early. My mum would say that in the morning she had to go and get her water and then you're walking in the morning to school, miles to go to school. And you're little and then you've got to come back. So when I got to the history of like why my mum did certain things, I have so much more understanding and more love for her because in her mind, she didn't do anything wrong because it was nothing compared to what she got. So my point is this, as the generations go down, we learn. So now that's why I'm so passionate about talking to my daughter because I want to have a relationship with her.
Yeah, it's important.
I don't want her to like not talk to me about things. I don't want her going to school and acting up. They're all going to do stuff. They're young people, aren't they? But not being able to discuss anything with me because she has this fear of like, that's my mum. Like, I don't want her feeling this type of way towards me or because that's like they would beat first and ask questions later. I remember one time I'd sit there and my mum I'd say something and I'm thinking it's funny.
Like when the balance was there, where it's like, I'm going to give you discipline, but I'm going to talk to you on a level. I felt like that's when I connected with my dad and my mum. I mean, I feel like technology is going to be involved more in our kids' lives than it is now. You know, we were talking about my nieces watching other kids unwrap presents. It's going to be a whole different thing in another 30, 40 years.
That's what I mean.
And as parents, you're going to probably be more busy, less time for your children.
Yeah. I mean, you've got technical singularity where you've got like, you know, happening in Japan at a rapid rate. Well, not even just Japan, in general, across the board. They're probably working on stuff that we don't even realise they're working on.